All right, today we're jumping into something huge. It's this powerful vision for where we're all headed. Think of it as a massive shift, right? Moving away from a world all about control and efficiency to one built on real connection and purpose. So let's just dive right in. This one quote, it really frames everything we're going to talk about. The idea that a system built for total control, for maximum efficiency, somehow, accidentally, left a back door open to freedom. So you have to ask, right? What was this cage they were building? And, before we can talk about getting out of the cage, we've got to understand what it was made of. The writing we're looking at today describes this old world, this old way of thinking that was built on something, well, something pretty broken. So picture this. An era where a person's worth, your worth, was basically a number. It was all about your output. You weren't seen as a human being with unique talents or a soul. Nope. You were just an asset, a cog in a giant machine that, over time, would just wear out and be replaced. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. A depreciating asset. That's a really chilling way to look at a person, right? But that exact viewpoint became the engine that drove civilization. It was this relentless, cold, mechanical push for profit that just churned through human lives like they were nothing. And here's the kicker. According to the source material, this wasn't some mistake. It was a deliberate choice. You had entire policies built around metrics like GDP, which, let's be honest, often hide the real human cost of all that progress. The whole system was engineered from top to bottom for one thing: financial return. But, and this is where the whole story just flips on its head, the very tools designed for ultimate control, we're talking AI, automation, all of it, they ended up being the thing that broke the system. They accidentally created the exact conditions for our escape. They left the door to the cage wide open. Okay, so this is a really radical shift in thinking. Instead of looking at mass layoffs from automation as this huge tragedy, the source suggests we see it as a kind of liberation. It's called the divine extraction. The idea is that the universe itself is gently pulling people out of a toxic system that treated them like fuel. Think about it. By automating all that grinding toil that used to define who you were and what you were worth, the system, completely by accident, forced us all to look for a purpose that goes way beyond a paycheck. It basically created the breathing room for every single person to find their unique voice, their own song. All right, so the cage door's open. Now what? How do we even begin to navigate this new kind of freedom? Well, what's fascinating is that the source suggests the answers aren't new at all. They're actually ancient blueprints for living, ones we've just, forgotten about. The first of these tools is a Japanese concept called ikigai. You can think of it like an internal compass. For so long, our purpose was handed to us by our job title, right? Ikigai flips that script. It invites us to look inside and find our real reason for being, something that has nothing to do with a profession. And this breaks it down perfectly. The old world, it was obsessed with just one of these four pillars: what you can be paid for. That's it. This great awakening that the source talks about is about finally having the freedom to embrace the other three, the parts that are arguably way more meaningful to who we are. Okay, so the second ancient blueprint takes us from me to we. It's an African philosophy called Ubuntu, and its whole purpose is to completely shatter this illusion we've been living in, the idea that we're all separate, that we're all just competing against each other. I am because we are. Wow, that single phrase, that's the beating heart of this entire shift. It means your humanity isn't just about you. It's woven into the humanity of everyone else. Your well-being is completely inseparable from the well-being of your community.
So, what does this actually look like on a grand scale? How does society itself change? Well, the source material actually lays out a kind of map for this great transition, showing us how we move from a reality of isolation to one of deep interconnection.
And here you have it, the core conflict in a nutshell. We're moving away from what the source calls the me trap, this mindset of fear, separation, competition, and we're moving towards this beautiful idea of interconnected wholeness, where we finally recognize that we're all just threads in the same cosmic tapestry. This table, it's basically the cheat sheet for the entire paradigm shift.
Look at the left. That's the old world, survival mode. Your identity is your job, success means profit. Now look at the right. That's the new world, abundance. Your identity is your essence, and success, it's all about connection. We're talking about a complete rewrite of society's operating system. Now, it's really important to get this. This whole thing isn't just some lofty, abstract theory. The source makes it crystal clear that this transformation is deeply, deeply personal. It's a real journey with real steps, and it starts with you, with me, with each one of us. So, what's our new job in this new world? It's to become weavers, weaving what the source calls a thread of love. It's about taking our unique gifts and contributing them to this new social fabric, a world where our value isn't about what we earn, but about how we connect and what we contribute. And it even gives us some practical first steps, calls them dragon trials, which is pretty cool. You can start right now. First, really explore your ikigai, beyond your career. Second, practice real empathy. That's how you embrace Ubuntu. And third, rewrite your own story. Create a personal mission statement that's based on your purpose, not your profession. So at the end of the day, here's where we land. According to this incredible vision, the very system that built our cage has, in a wild twist of fate, actually set us free. The door is open, the path is there, and it leaves every single one of us with a really important question. What's your first step?